Alright gang, I've got 5 exciting layering combos to talk to you about today. These are fragrances that smell great when you blend it or layer it with another fragrance. So if you want to find out what they are, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yesterday we're talking about layering duos, layering combos. Take one fragrance, blend it with another one, or layer it with another to make a new fragrance out of it. Some of these are boosting similar styles of fragrances to make for a more lively and bigger fragrance experience. Some of them will be completely changing the smell to create something completely different. But all great combos that I've been doing a lot lately, and I'm really enjoying these combinations. I've got several videos on the channel on layering. You can go catch those videos as well, so this will be an extra one today discussing some new combos. So if you want to find out more, stick around. Before I get to the fragrances though, if this is your first time tuning into this channel and you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Let me know if you have a favorite layering combo, but before you do that, do you enjoy layering fragrances? I should be honest, I never really liked layering fragrances before. Way early on in the 2000s when I started wearing Jo Malone, the associates at the counters used to always tell me about layering fragrances. At that time I thought, okay, they're trying to make me buy more fragrance. But also I kind of just resisted layering fragrances because I wanted to enjoy the fragrance on its own, which is basically the best way to do. But these are accidental layering combinations and they smell so good, so I wanted to highlight them. So that's kind of the reason why I started doing layering. They were accidental discoveries and I thought, wow, that smells great together, kind of a thing. So let's get started. This one I already spoke to you about in a Goldfield and Banks video, but we're gonna take Sunset Hour from Goldfield and Banks, layer it with Pacific Rock Moss. For me, I would layer down Pacific Rock Moss first and then let it dry a little bit and then layer on top of that Sunset Hour. For me, Pacific Rock Moss is a little more subdued in comparison to Sunset Hour, which has a lot more projection. So that's why I'm layering this one on top. So I would also spray 4 sprays of Pacific Rock Moss to 3 sprays of Sunset Hour. You can actually adjust. So if you do like 3 sprays of Pacific Rock Moss, maybe 2 sprays of Sunset Hour. But for me, the fruitiness of Sunset Hour, its sparkling effervescence, cocktail like fizzy champagne like qualities is so great and matched perfectly with Pacific Rock Moss. Even though I felt like Sunset Hour has a light beachiness to it, I felt like it was like a resort or a hotel on the beach and you're at the bar getting light whiffs of the, you know, the beachiness. And Pacific Rock Moss to me is like a marine but more aquatic beachy experience. So the two together really blend beautifully and layer and smell wonderfully. They create a brand new fragrance, whereas you're getting the fruitiness here, you're getting that kind of mossy beachiness with the Pacific Rock Moss. A great duo. If you have both, try it and do let me know. I think they smell wonderful together. I think the smell is really great. Moving on to 2 fragrances, Middle Eastern style fragrances that I accidentally discovered and I think are really great. I haven't spoken much about Thomas KOSMALA fragrances. This is number 9, Bukhoor or Bukhoor. I'm trying to have a difficult time pronouncing this Arabic word, with JAZEEL's Wid. Now JAZEEL's Wid is not a fragrance I really loved at first. It's kind of grown on me and I was testing the two side by side and they kind of blended really beautifully. With Bukhoor from Thomas KOSMALA, it's very smoky and very woody with oud, amber, and musk, and there's definitely a musky animalic quality here too. Very Middle Eastern style oudi kind of presence here. Bukhoor is incense, I believe, that's burned and kind of creates a mood and things like that. Whereas Wid from JAZEEL is a very fruity, melony kind of aquatic marine-like floral fragrance. So it tones down the darkness of this Bukhoor or Bukhoor fragrance and makes it a little more easier to wear, whereas it can get challenging to wear this on its own, not only because it's got the animalic touches, but also because it's got all that smoke and woods kind of an experience. There's no freshness here whatsoever, in that no citruses or light notes or light floral notes. It's all very, very dark notes, so it needed a little something to amplify it. But don't get me wrong, all these fragrances are great on their own, but you get a brand new fragrance with wearing Thomas KOSMALA's No. 9 Bukhoor with JAZEEL's Wid. You just get more brightness, more interesting fruitiness, still getting the, you know, dark woods and smoke and animalic qualities, but it's toned down with the floral touches, the citrusy touches, and the fruity touches with the Wid. I don't know if you guys would try something like this. If you have both, try it. It's a different experience for sure, where you're still remembering the fragrances on their own, but it's blending to create something completely different. This is probably the most intense of the layering combos today, but I highly recommend it, or highly recommend you try it if you have both of these fragrances. So Thomas KOSMALA No. 9 Bukhoor and JAZEEL Wid. It's a great, great layering combination. So far both of the layering duos are unisex fragrances. This next duo of fragrances are both male targeted from more luxury houses. For example, we've got Tygar from the house of BVLGARI and L'Immensité from the house of Louis Vuitton. Both of them are also created by the same perfumer, Jacques Cavalier. Both of them are focusing on grapefruit. But I really love Tygar. I feel like it's not very complex because all they credit are grapefruit, ambroxan, and woods. There's definitely an ambery, woody kind of an experience, musky as well. But it does wear a little minimalistic, but still smells fantastic. I love the way it smells. I just wanted a little more substance from it. Go to the other house of Louis Vuitton and try L'Immensité. So what I did was layer Tygar down as its base. Even though we've got that grapefruit, ambroxan, woods thing, I layered that down and then I would let it dry and then spray it on top with the L'Immensité. The L'Immensité has a lot more freshness, and even though the Tygar is fresh, there's a deeper kind of darker woods experience, and it doesn't have the freshness or fresh complexity that L'Immensité does. Both of them feature grapefruit, so you're basically amplifying the grapefruity touches here with both fragrances. And as I said, both of them are created by the same perfumer, similar ideas, different directions. But with the L'Immensité, you've also got some zing, the ginger. There's this watery note or watery accord running throughout it, which creates a kind of a fresher experience. There's aromatics thrown in here as well, geranium, sage, rosemary, and of course the ambroxan is in here as well with bergamot and amber. So the two together, just an amplified version of Tygar with some unique little extra notes added. The zing from the ginger, the aromatics from the herbs, and of course the bergamot for a lot more citrusy touches. The two together is amazing, and as I said, both of them are male targeted. Women can totally pull this off. They're citruses, they're not uber masculine fragrances, but together I think they smell fantastic. If you're looking to amplify the grapefruity touches, definitely try BVLGARI's Tygar with Louis Vuitton's L'Immensité. I think it's a great, great combo. Now, the next duo I think is perfect, and both of them focus on patchouli. But both of them seem a little minimalistic. One, because it's gotten watered down, reformulated. The other is just a minimalistic fragrance to begin with. So the first one is Eccentric Molecules Molecule 1 plus Patchouli, and then Fresh. This is a brand that's under LVMH Cannabis Santal. So the two together is fantastic. So ISOE Super plus Patchouli in the Molecule 1 plus Patchouli. It is a minimalistic fragrance. It's a woods and patchouli together, and it wears thin, but it does have pretty long legs. It's just a kind of a minimalistic experience. And with the Fresh Cannabis Santal, I do get lots of patchouli, plus you got that kind of herbal green camphoric cannabis note. There's dark chocolate here. There's a little rose. Some people say this kind of hints at something like Mugler's Angel. It used to more. Now it's gotten thin. So both of them are kind of thin and minimalistic to me. The two together here really do work well, and it just amplifies the patchouli woods earthy kind of experience and makes for a little more gives it more substance kind of a thing. If you have Fresh Cannabis Santal and you're thinking it's gotten light or weak, mostly to boost it up, I think the Eccentric Molecules Molecule 1 plus Patchouli would do, because not only does it have the patchouli here, this one does have patchouli, so you're just basically amplifying the patchouli woods experience here to make it last longer, because for me it doesn't last as long as as I wanted to. And with the Eccentric molecules, it is long lasting, but it's very, very minimalistic, close to the skin, and together they just do really wonders with each other to make for a very, very amped up version of Cannabis Santal with lots more woods and patchouli. So Eccentric molecules, molecule 1 plus patchouli, and fresh Cannabis Santal. A great, great layering duo. I highly recommend you try. And if you like the idea of patchouli, you're going to be really satisfied with that because it's not thick. Even the fresh Cannabis Santal is not really uber thick. So it still wears a little thin, but it has great longevity and some more substance to it. And last but not least, we're going to the house of Hermes with Un Jardin sur le Nil, with the house of Sisley with Eau de Campagne. Both of the fragrances are created by Jean-Claude Elena. He created the Eau de Campagne in the 70s. This one, Un Jardin sur le Nil, was created in the early 2000s. Both of them have a kind of a tomato-like experience, and both of them kind of are thin. They don't have a lot of thickness or substance to it, and the two together make for a great, great layering duo. You're amplifying the tomato qualities, whereas in the Sur le Nil, the tomato is the fruit, and in the Eau de Campagne, it's the leaves. The two together work perfectly. I think the fragrance also is intensified. You're adding some uniqueness to it. For me, the Sur le Nil is a lot more succulent because it has this calamus note with lotus flower. It's a little watery, and some woods in there as well, with a light smoky incense running throughout it. But with the Eau de Campagne, it's tomato leaf, basil, oak moss, lemons, bergamot, geranium, vetiver, galbanum, patchouli. Both of the fragrances, even though this Eau de Campagne has a lot more notes, is thin. It's kind of like a herbal, green, camphoric, bitter, kind of an Eau de Cologne take. And with this one, the fact that it has the thinness, it's just more like a watery fragrance. You experience the watery touches with the lotus flower. So the two together, I think, is really, really great. It just adds more substance to the fact that you've got this kind of succulent lotus flower and also aloe vera kind of succulency in here, and you're adding it with all this greenness and herbal aromatics and citruses. Really great combo. I highly recommend those two, and it's funny that both of them are created by Jean-Claude Elena, and I think the two together work great. And I think that'll be a perfect layering duo for summer, which is around the corner. Anyway, those are the 5 layering duos or combos that I wanted to talk to you about today. Let me know if you've tried these combos. Let me know if you know of the fragrances individually, and have you thought about doing any kind of layering with them. And if you have a great new layering duo, let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out what you guys are doing. So if I have those fragrances, I can try them myself. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Thanks for sticking around for the bonus layering duo. I'm going to talk to you about Kiehl's Original Musk, and also what we do as secrets, Monoscent G. So Monoscent G, from what we do as secret, is a sister brand or an offspring brand from A Lab on Fire. It's all about galaxolide, which is this very, very sexy, cozy, musky synthetic note. So with Original Musk, a lot of people complain it's thin. Yes, it's gotten thin. I can experience it. The first time I bought it in the latter part of the 2000s, it was a lot more beefier. Now it's a little watered down, so I wanted to amplify it, make it extend the life, and add more substance to the fragrance. So basically, adding the galaxolide, I spray this on first. This will be my base, so it's basically musk, right? A synthetic musk. Let it dry, and then spray on top of it with Original Musk. Yes, it's going to extend the life. It's going to have more muskiness. It might take away a little bit from the floral touches that are in the Original Musk, but it definitely gives it new life and adds a little bit of a extra muskiness to it, but extending the life of the fragrance definitely works great together. The Original Musk features notes of musk, orange blossom, ylang ylang, tonka, patchouli, and neroli, so it definitely is a citrusy floral take on a musk experience, but it does smell like authentic deer musk. For sure it does. I definitely get that. And with the Monoscent G, as I said, it's galaxolide, which is a synthetic note, and the two together are a great layering duo. I highly recommend these two together. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for sticking around for the bonus layering duo. Have a good one, and stay tuned for another video very soon. Bye-bye.